Hello, everybody. Starting soon. We got to get Mike not to have to have less short man energy. Let me fix that.
Yeah.
You know.
That's better. That's better.
Dang.
Da-da.
There we go. Right now.
I'm just gonna copy and paste the.
Oh, that's what I do with people's scoops.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Let's see here.
You can just click that shit.
Content.
It's way easier.
Seems Jeff's mic is very low. That's a possible. Oh, yeah, look at that. Sorry, buddy. We get that.
Wow.
Test.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? That's probably going to be a VMDT issue. Let's
Oh,
go here.
you know, you gotta get that checked out.
Yeah, thanks, man. Here,
Oh, God. Your recording was fine.
yeah, no,
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
it never affects those shows. It's just afterward, after using video. Yeah, like it's down to 51. I keep it at 100, the microphone in Windows, and it always just turns it down to 51. All right, so I'm there. Okay, we should be much better
You're
now.
here, yeah.
And Mike,
there.
can you just count to 3 or 4 for me?
1, 2, 3, 4. I'll give you a bonus 5 even.
Wow, I feel so lucky. Okay,
Oh.
well, I
All right,
already did
I'm
the
ready.
trash.
You ready?
Now let's take out this show now.
Very
Sometimes
much
you just
like
know.
Trash. Pretty much the same.
Pretty much the
It just
same.
recorded.
Get started. Click the button below to select the stream. Okay, I did that.
What are you doing?
Just
Stop touching button.
no, it's new OBS stuff. It's all good. I like to have that the add button here so I can insert the ad at the proper time because they always try to put it at the worst time. Okay,
Oh, it do be like that. All right.
let's see
go.
here. Yep, let me just get that there. Turn off the music. We tested this, but I got to turn that up for you guys.
You can skid mid podcast.
And then that is that. Okay. I'm going to count us in. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. The internet, you're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is
Mike Minotti.
in today's episode, Xbox put out a great show. Ninja Gaiden is back. Catfishes are indeed cool, and Doom Guy can strafe now. But first, thank you for joining us, Mike Minotti. How are you doing?
Yo. Pretty good, yeah. Busy day, gosh.
Yeah.
It seems like there was weeks there we were on this extended, slow holiday period, and now everybody's like, we got to announce stuff again, right? We got to sell video games. Let's go.
Yep, absolutely. It's picking up pace. Everyone's getting ready to go. I think everyone was like, oh man, there was a lull there. We could have put some games there out in January, and now here we are. There are games coming out. It's exciting. I'm ready to play some games as well. Hey, I'm in the mood for something like Ninja Gaiden Black 2 or Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. And I saw you playing it. It looks awesome. So yeah, good stuff.
Yep. It is in fact pretty good. So I'll talk about that later.
We will talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, how's it been going otherwise, Mike?
A little cabin fever. Just been staying inside as much as possible because of the cold weather, right? Like,
Unseasonably
me,
cold. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cold right now. And I usually like go out for lunch, and I hate doing it, but I know why I do it because sometimes that's like the one time I kind of get to go out
of course.
and be somewhere else, right? And just that little bit is helpful. It's nice. So yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll just go out anyways, even though it's cold, and do something just to feel alive. Or maybe I'll just continue to stay inside and cook pasta and play video games. That's nice too.
I mean, yeah, it's going to break here pretty soon. I think we get about a week out from now, and it's going to warm up significantly. It's going to be like 30, 35, and that's going to be a little bit more bearable compared to what we've been. Yeah, it's going to feel like spring compared to what we've been dealing with. So, I know what you mean. I've not been getting a lot of sun, and that's definitely been affecting my mood. And then, of course, everything else is affecting the mood.
Sure, right.
Yeah, and it's like okay, I definitely need to have some mindfulness there. So looking to take care of that one way or the other.
I always get so much whiplash because, I love December. So many fun things are happening December all the time. And then January is just such a nothing of a month, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love winter. I really do. It's just like when it's painful to just go outside, that is a little bit rough, actually. But, well, hey, more reason to play video games. Gonna be doing a lot more of that. Well, you know what? Thank you, everybody, for joining us, though. You're always a delight as well. Let's get right into it. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening, and hit that like button on YouTube. It helps people find the show. If you want to ask a question, you can drop a super chat during the show here on YouTube. We'll get to all of those before the end of the program. Thanks to Carlos Ain, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. Thanks to 1UP versus CPU for our artwork. You can find more at 1UpVersusCPU.com. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to Christian for producing. And you can get more from Mike and me and support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to our Discord server, participation in Q&A sessions and our game club discussions, early access to new episodes of Game Mess Jeopardy and Columbros, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. That is patreon.com/GameMess. Shout out to the people who are joining this week. I see you and I appreciate it. It is always awesome. So thank you, everybody who's been a member for a long time and who keeps joining. That's awesome. Friendly reminder, you can also get a lot of the same benefits, pretty much all the same benefits, and become a supporter by going to Mike's or Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Tokoto. When he's streaming, subscribe to him. You'll get that. And if you become a YouTube member here on YouTube, click the little membership button. Does the same stuff. So there you go. All right. Big topics. You ready to get into them?
Yeah, lots to talk about today.
Yeah. Let's start with the Xbox Developer Direct that did happen earlier today. It was, I think, a pretty successful showcase. They promised 4 games. They gave us 5. One was a kind of a bonus shadow drop. That's a good move. That's always a good move. How did you find this show yourself?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was paced nicely. Like sometimes a lot of this, the kind of we're in the studio talking to the developer stuff. Sometimes that can be a lot of fluff and not feel all that interesting, but they did a good job of combining that with the constant gameplay and the actual useful information about the titles. We did really get good looks at all of these games, and all of them showed really well here. I think this presentation has probably helped all of these titles.
Yeah, it does. Yes, you're right. I feel more excited about every single one of these games. I think that Clair Obscur was the one that got the biggest glow up or the biggest take of the spotlight. But all of them just seemed like, hey, we have a message. We know what we want people to feel about these things. Let's get that across. And I think they all accomplished that. And they're all, they have their own style, their own signature voice. And I think that helped them all stand out from one another as well. Overall, and all these games are out. Let's see here. April 8th for South of Midnight. Clair Obscur's April 24th. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black came out today. Ninja Gaiden 4 is fall 2025. And then Doom the Dark Ages is May 15th. So other than Ninja Gaiden 4, which is, the first time they've ever talked about that. So yeah, it's coming out later this year. All these games are out in the first half of the year. I don't know. I'm having pretty positive feelings about Xbox games these days. How about you?
No, I think that's exactly right. Like Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, something I kind of had on my radar. And then looking at it today, I talk all the time about how it's sometimes a bummer that older JRPGs, and yes, I know it's not made in Japan. You know what I mean when I say a JRPG. Right? They felt so big and vast, and sometimes today they feel smaller just because so much effort has to go into each individual asset. I'm looking at this game this man, there's a world map here, and these battles look great, and there's all these fun characters, and it's, has that nice mix of the big stakes and some of the interesting lore, but it's also not, it has some goofy characters that look like a lot of fun. Expedition 33 is way high on my looking forward to list this year. And if you had asked me, January 1st, what games am I looking forward to in 2025, I don't know if I would have even been able to remember this one. Suddenly, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, I think it was on some people's radars. It's had impressive showings in terms of, hey, that was a pretty cool looking game. Trailers that show up at Summer Game Fest or whatever. And, Ben Starr's in it, and he's got a good magnetism to him right now, where if he's connected to a project, people do pay attention, especially in our scene. But this was the time where it's like, oh no, this just looks like a shit hot game, like all these games did, really. But you're right, yeah. I'm excited to try this out, and I'm not even the biggest JRPG guy, but it just looks like it knows what it is and is going for it.
And it's so easy to imagine all those people who were really into Metaphor last year, right? Here's a game like almost exactly 6 months later, gonna be really ready for something kind of similar in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna jump on this one.
Yeah, Brad Lynch in chat saying it's $50. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
I hate myself that I almost don't like hearing that.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean it's a budget game?
Yeah. But I mean, it's like the time. Did they mention that it's like about 30 hours? Is that something that they talked about?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because that's something I almost hope.
Yeah.
Because I don't need another, I like all my metaphors and everything and the personas, Xenoblades. I don't know if I need it to be 80 hours long.
Right. I just remember that someone saying 30 hours, and I don't know if that was sourced. Okay. So yes, people in chat are saying they say 30 hours. So
man, that's awesome.
Right,
Gosh,
so
this game rules.
$50, bunch of cool shit. 30 hours. It's like maybe they're like, oh, it's only 30 hours for what is presenting as a JRPG. Yeah, we'll just charge $50 for it. But, okay, well, listen, all that sounds pretty good to me, as long as the $50 is about them being like, oh yeah, we're not trying to have an epic tale that goes on for 150 hours,
right.
And not like we just kind of skipped over the part where we made it fun. I don't think that's what they're implying here.
I kind of rose a stink way back when Hi-Fi Rush came out at 30 or something weird.
Yeah.
I was like, that seems strange to me. Why is this a $30 game as opposed to this or that, right? So, whatever. I don't want to get.
I had that same sort of knee-jerk reaction that you did for sure. Sean points out they said at least 30 hours, which could mean something a little bit different. I bet when companies say that, it usually means like, it's like 25 hours if you really want to beam through it, and then it's like 35 hours if you don't. It's probably not going to be like the kind of game where, some people are taking 75 hours on it. That's probably not the case. But we will see. Let's see. In addition to this, they did lead with Ninja Gaiden 4. Platinum Games is working with Team Ninja on it. It looks awesome. I guess I forgot how cool Ninja Gaiden is, and we were missing it. So it's cool to see it back.
Right. It's been a long time, and Ninja Gaiden 3 was a misstep, right? So, gosh, this time last year, I don't think anybody was thinking about Ninja Gaiden very much. And then we had that new 2D game announced a bit ago, and that looks neat.
Cool.
Right. But then all of a sudden, there's a Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out, and we had that 2 remake/remaster happen today. It's like, whoa, Ninja Gaiden's back in a big way all of a sudden. That's wild.
Yep. Yeah, it was it was like very cool to like see them deliver on this thing that I would heard rumblings. We were saying, oh, it could be Ninja Gaiden, and I know everyone was like, they just announced Ninja Gaiden. Jeff, you're stupid. Well, we'll see. And here we are. But it's like that. This is a game that they did a very good job of like, oh, this looks important and big, and like Ninja Gaiden is back. So very excited about that. Surprised about the collaboration between Team Ninja and Platinum, but.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense to me when you see it like actually put out into a video for a video game that is coming out this year.
It is surprising because, Team Ninja does develop a lot of game on its own. It's done a lot of action games on its own recently. They made a Final Fantasy game. So it's almost a little weird, like, oh, here's your baby and you're not developing that one yourself. But also, hey, yeah, sure, get Platinum Games involved. They've done good work. They've had a bit of a rough go lately, and they lost some key members. So, this is a good chance for them to reestablish themselves at a time when, I thought they were basically done. I thought they're maybe going to announce closing at any moment. So this is a pretty nice potential second win for them.
Yeah, I hope so. And then they had one more thing attached to just the Ninja Gaiden segment. They started playing it, and I'm like, wait, what is this? This looks like the older Ninja Gaiden game remade in a new engine. And that's exactly what it was. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. They're giving the black treatment to Ninja Gaiden 2. Same thing they did to Ninja Gaiden. And you played this now. I'm going to play this tonight still. I'm very excited. It looks fantastic. How's it feeling for you?
Yeah, it feels great. I played the first Ninja Gaiden not too long ago as part of the Game as a Game Club, and I had a great time with that. And this is so neat because it does feel like that still, and it's that very specific, kind of flashy but visceral, really satisfying combat style. That it's not just a Devil May Cry clone or a God of War clone. It's very bespoke, but it looks really good, right? It's and I think it's Unreal Engine 5 now,
Yeah, it is.
So it's just absolutely stunning looking. But it still has all the kind of the quirks and charm of a 360 game. Maybe a little bit of some stuff that'll grate people, like the camera being a little weird sometimes, right? But yeah, playing it on Xbox, it looks very nice. It plays really well. I'm having a great time with that. Just I love waking up and not having no idea I'm going to be playing Ninja Gaiden 2 later that day because of some reason, right?
Yeah, shadow drops are fantastic. Yeah, I think maybe not always the right choice, but I always enjoy them, and I think it's going to work out totally fine here.
In this case, this is a good example of it being a pretty right choice, right? Yep. Because it's almost really more about getting people excited about Ninja Gaiden 4 and reintroducing them to the series. So yeah, that made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I people in the chat were like, "Hey, who developed this remaster / remake?" It's remade visuals in Unreal Engine 5, so I guess we'll call it a remake. I mean, it's just this Team Ninja, and it's Koei Tecmo is listed as the developer on Steam, but then like when you look at the video, it just says Team Ninja. I think Team Ninja just did this. It's the kind of thing would be very easy for them to pull off.
And maybe this was kind of part of the training or proof of concept thing here, right? Like let's see what happens when we take care of this, and then we'll be in a good place.
I mean, the kind of thing you do when you're trying to get familiar with Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, sure, I could see that. South of Midnight. We've had a chance to get a glimpse of this game as well. It is character action game as well. It's maybe not as sort of electric in terms of its character action as a Ninja Gaiden, but it's got like that oozing style from the American South, and telling a story from a very specific culture. It looks awesome as well. The character designs are blow me away. I just think in general this game looks really interesting. How'd you feel? How'd you find it?
Yeah, exactly. I do think it looks really nice. I want to kind of get a feel for that combat myself to see how I like it, but it looks like it should be pretty slick. But yeah, it is just visually so striking. I am glad that it's that kind of game. When I first saw this, for a while, I was like, "What is this? I don't even know. Is this, I hate to put it like this, but I was like, is this going to be another Hellblade? What's going on here?"
Yeah, right? Totally.
And maybe still has a little bit of that flavor. Like I'm still a little bit worried that it's mostly like a story with some action stuff. And there's some people who will really appreciate that, and that's fine. But just personally,
I'm looking at the action, and I am kind of wondering. I'm like, does this look good to me? And I'm like, okay, I just need to get my hands on it because I'm having a hard time telling if this is something I'm going to enjoy playing or not. But as far as like presenting a cool world and characters and enemies and music and sound and style, it's got it going on in those terms.
Right, because some action games can fall into pitfalls. I was thinking even with Ninja Gaiden, like one of the things I love about there's so many action games where it feels like you're just kind of wailing on an enemy and all the other enemies are waiting to take their turn, that kind of thing. That's not what's going on with Ninja Gaiden. So, like, I don't want South of Midnight to be one of these kind of just mash the X button and then use your cooldown abilities when they're ready kind of action games, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of the thing I worry about. But
exactly,
it's an unfounded worry right now.
Right, exactly. Just got to get our hands on it. And so that means Doom: The Dark Ages. That is, May 15th. That release date leaked. It was accurate. Doom guy has a shield saw. It can he can parry stuff with it. He can throw it, which stun locks even like large enemies. It looked awesome. It can deflect projectiles. And then they're looking more towards Doom 1 than like Doom 2016 and Eternal for combat inspiration. So yeah, it's just like gameplay is more grounded, I suppose, is how they're putting it as well. And Christian helped write down here, dude can strafe to evoke the gameplay of classic Doom. So yeah, there you go. I think this game looks awesome. I think they
yeah.
just really kind of nailed a cool new idea for Doom that delivers what you want in a way you weren't necessarily expecting, which is exactly what you need to do with a sequel to a franchise like Doom, right?
Yeah, and there's like some big surprises, like the giant mech thing that he's riding on. Even just some small things like that melee weapon being this flail, which ties so much into the kind of medieval vibe going on here, and it just looks really cool. It's interesting how the glory kills work differently now.
Yeah.
So you don't have that animation play, and that's good in the sense that they're faster, and they don't sort of awkwardly snap you in front of the enemy, right, in that kind of weird way. But they are going to lose some of that kind of visceral fatality fun that was going on there. It might be a trade-off worth doing, but I am curious to give it a try.
Yeah, I think they're just at a point where it's like, I think one of the issues with Eternal was they got so elaborate that it maybe did break up the flow a little bit. And it's like, well, so are you going to make him even more elaborate in this one to sort of keep escalating? So it probably makes sense to sort of abandon that and try to readjust what the glory kills can be. Now, in the video, I think we saw the glory kills were kind of just kicking them really hard, and then maybe they would flop around and ragdoll the enemies. My expectation there is that is something you can upgrade, and then the glory kill becomes more visceral while still remaining very fluid and part of the normal combat. They probably did not spill the entire beans on what that's going to look like in this trailer.
Yeah, the other thing, they seem to kind of go out of their way to not put an emphasis on the first-person platforming that I think threw some people off with Eternal.
Yeah. I mean, Eternal's still there. I think that where they're at with Doom is they are going to kind of pick a couple of things they want to focus on with each one of these games and go hard on that and not try to do everything, which is probably the right move for this franchise. It doesn't always have to have all the stuff it had before every time. Just, keep doing cool stuff and then just be a metal album cover come to life, and you're going to have probably a pretty good Doom on your hands. And then there was a dragon. You can fight giant kaiju by getting into a Doom guy mech. They're just doing cool stuff with Doom: The Dark Ages. So that was the show. I think we got everything there. Yes, we got everything. I was impressed. Really excited about all of these games.
Yeah, I definitely really liked it. I can't imagine disliking it unless you had some darling you were expecting. I think there's a lot of people who were really hoping the Oblivion remake was going to be here, and it wasn't. So it could be hard to look past that. But boy, all these games looked good. We got to see a lot of gameplay. We got to learn a lot. We got a lot of release dates. Even very well paced. It's definitely the best one of these that Xbox has done.
Yeah. I think they've done developer directs that were more like Nintendo directs in the past, and yet somehow, like, even though I prefer that format of just bang, 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 here's 20 games back to back. Somehow this one, it was all bangers, all games that really just showed the best they've ever showed, and that went a long way for me. All right, so we'll get past the Xbox developer direct. If there's a PlayStation State of Play sometime soon, we'll talk about that then. In the meantime, people are kind of, hey, Sony, what are you doing? They won't stay silent for much longer, is my guess. So hopefully we get that soon. And it gives us a good idea. I would just love for them to come out and be like, here is when Wolverine is coming out later this year. That would really make this year feel especially exciting. But maybe they're waiting on GTA 6 like everyone else. I don't know if Sony should be worried about that.
Yeah, you can't sit around and wait forever. And I mean, I thought the whole point is supposed to be that GTA 6 is going to make people buy PlayStation 5s. So hopefully they will buy at least one other game, right? And you got to show them what that one other game is. You can't just sit on your thumbs forever here.
Yeah, for sure. Special Nick wants to know if I saw his tweet. I don't use Twitter. It's the one you sent me, because if that's the case, then I saw that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like not even on that thing anymore.
Yeah, I glance at Twitter just during work a couple times, and then that's it. All right. EA blames underperformance of Dragon Age and EA Football Club 25 as it lowers forecast. Basically, Dragon Age did about half as well as they were expecting. They said it had 1.5 million players engaged versus the 3 million, I guess they were expecting. They said it did almost half, so or maybe more than half. But yeah, basically 1.5 million. And then EA Football Club 25 came up pretty short as well in terms of live service revenue, and that's probably a lot more money, actually, that they're worried about. Either way, they were expecting a certain amount of money for this fiscal year. They lowered it because of these 2 games, and they're like, hey, we intend to get back to making money next year. EA, just one of many of these companies in a weird position. EA, a little bit different than some because it has multiple very successful live service games. Most of them are sports games, but they have Apex Legends and things like that as well.
Yeah.
But EA,
I saw Apex Legends lost 75% of its player base in 2024, though. So that one,
yes, I mean it's coming to an end for sure. And they it was almost a self-fulfilling prophecy with that one, where it's like they thought themselves it was coming to an end, so like, let's stop investing in it in a major way, and then surprise, people are indeed done with it because you stopped investing in it in a major way. But whatever, I mean, who knows, maybe it would have gone that way regardless. It happened with Overwatch, so why wouldn't it happen with Apex Legends? But yeah, they're most worried about making sure that stuff like EA Sports Football Club 25 and the Ultimate Team game and inside of that are making a lot of money, and it's not. But I mean, for EA, it's like, okay, we've got to go back and then do more to make EAFC exciting again. And it's like, okay, yeah. And then I personally, I'm more excited or more interested in, okay, so Dragon Age didn't do what you expected. Why do you think that is? And what happens next with these kinds of games? And I don't know. For me, it's like, I assume EA just loses interest, but I don't know. What do you think?
Right, because, they're not. Yeah, they definitely lose more money, probably whatever happened with Football Club, but they're not going to stop making Football Club or do anything to those studios. BioWare has been on such thin ice already, right? I mean, before this, their last 2 games were Anthem and freaking Mass Effect Andromeda. And then, this game, I know I see some people be like, whoa, how is 1.5, million not good enough? And again, it's players, it's not sold. Man, I don't know. Even if it was sold, and I get 1 million is a big number, I don't know if I could ever believe that was enough, right? For something that probably costs as much as this.
It's clearly not enough. The industry has grown so much. I mean, Mappus Cattell was on Game S Mornings this morning, and he said the same thing. Budgets have increased. The console market's not increased at the same rate. And so it's like, they're spending a ton of money on these games, and they're selling to, you can't keep selling to that same 1 million people over and over as you are spending way more money on these games than you ever did before. And of course, Veilguard is a special case where it's a game that they were trying to make a live service game before they abandoned that and brought in a team to sort of resuscitate it and turn it into something completely different, the game that we eventually got. And so that was going to be a long, drawn-out, very expensive process. So they spent even more on it, but they did that because they thought it would sell way more than 1.5 million. Their expectations being, 3 million, and again, that's engaged players, so people who either played it through Game Pass Ultimate, which
EA Play or whatever.
EA Play or whatever, yeah, and then bought it. But I mean, I don't know what the answer is, because we see this from all these big publishers, that they have these games with these big properties attached to it, things that have done well before, and they come out, they get kind of B's, B pluses, B minuses in terms of the reviews, and players just yawn at it. And it's like, I mean, if we're not going to buy these games, even when they're kind of just like, oh, this one's pretty okay, it has some issues, but it's pretty okay in a lot of ways. If people aren't going to pony up the $70 for it, and many people are just not in the mood to do that right now because of various reasons, they're just going to stop making these games. And I don't know who to blame. I mean, obviously mismanagement from these companies trying to make it a live service game in the first place, sure. But they made a game that's pretty decent, and no one bought it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to diagnose exactly what happened here, and there's a lot of things.
There's a lot.
I do think that, not the first trailer, but, that big trailer when they were actually starting the marketing campaign, right, that everybody hated because it was bad, it looked weird, it was just very quippy. I still hear people today say, like, they don't like the writing in the game. Yeah. And I bet that's the case. I wonder how much of that is still just like they came into it kind of looking or feeling that kind of Marvel quippiness and just getting ready to be revolted by it, kind of a thing, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be the combination of that. And I mean, you're right. I think that trailer really did hurt people because they were just like, what is going on here? And then people tuned out. And then there were people who
don't need much of a reason to not have to spend $70,
Exactly. And then the people that tuned in harder because of that, they tuned in because they wanted to hate it, and that took off, of course. So.
Right. Yeah, and that's a whole, like, I almost hate saying it, right? But clearly, like there is a wave with these people. So if they do their targeted harassment campaigns, maybe it can actually do some damage. As much as I would love to believe otherwise.
I mean, clearly it can poison the well, and I think it's like, okay, so then what is the answer to that for these publishers? And it's going to be not like, oh, we have to bend to the whims of these insane people. It's not going to be. It's going to be like, why are we making games for these people at all? Like, why are we wasting our time and our money making games that try to please these assholes, these fickle children who are never happy with anything? Let's just stop doing that entirely and go make some more live service games and more mobile games. That's an audience that, they're paying less attention. That means they're also spending less money. Again, Matt Piscatella talked about this on Game Us Mornings this morning. They're spending less money, sure, and they're paying less attention. That paying less attention is actually a good thing because there's so many of them, we'll just make it up in the aggregate. So, I mean, if I'm in charge of one of these big companies, I'm feeling pretty sour about trying to court the audience that I happen to be in right now. I'm not feeling great about that. But, I don't think this means that Mass Effect gets thrown in the trash or something, Mike. We're still going to get Mass Effect.
That's I guess that's what it comes down to because, we're going to get Mass Effect. But if that doesn't hit also, Jeff.
Of course. Of course. Yes, it's kaput at that point. Yes.
It's done, right?
Yep.
And then it's this big bummer, especially when RPGs are succeeding so well in other places. And that's the other thing, too, is that we are in a post-Baldur's Gate 3 world. And I think a lot of games with RPG roots or RPG mechanics are going to help to maybe, for so long the directive was streamline.
Yeah,
Maybe we need to unstreamline things a little bit.
I mean, maybe no. It seems certain to me that if you want to be a game that stands out, systems driven, complicated, deep, these are the guiding North Stars, not polished and streamlined. That is, I think these days it's a recipe for boredom. To be streamlined, and people want their games to be kind of messy and interesting and have possibilities like Baldur's Gate 3, something to like really sink your teeth into.
It's just gonna be much better to maybe target the 5 million people who are going to be really interested in a mechanically deep RPG like that than like the 200 million people who play Fortnite, right?
Yeah,
well, I know that looks great, but you're just not going to have it. You're just not going to get them.
Yeah, and I think the industry really knows all this, right? Because we're going to have the Super Bowl here in a couple of weeks, right? And do you expect a single traditional single player video game to have a commercial during the Super Bowl? Because I just can't even imagine like what that would be.
No.
And
unless GTA 6 wanted to, but I don't think so.
Right, it would be just GTA 6. It's not going to be Assassin's Creed Shadows, right?
No.
So, but what would do it is, Monopoly Go. Could have one.
Yeah.
Not probably, but it could easily do one.
There was that one Super Bowl. I remember it was like half of them were like random phone game ads that I had never heard of before.
Yep, it's been that way for a long time, right? And now, but it's like that is the industry saying, "Hey, we don't think the mainstream audience is going to suddenly swoop over to our cool, interesting game because we advertised during the Super Bowl. We're kind of just we're narrow casting after certain audiences, and that's it. And if they've already accepted that, there's a ceiling on what they can do with these games, and." I think games like Dragon Age and many Ubisoft games continue to prove that. So I think it's a little bit of a fever at the same time. A little bit of, hey, something something ails the video game industry and the people playing games. That fever will eventually break, and we'll get on the other side of it. And it's like these companies will figure out the right kinds of games to get people excited again, and people will feel better about their finances and will be more open to trying some games at $70 even at some point here in the next couple of years. But in this moment in time, all of it just feels so rotten that no one's really ready to like let down their guard and begin thinking like, okay, maybe I will try this 7 out of 10 for $70. And no. All right. Let's see here. The MPD report did come out, and I meant to talk about this with Matt this morning, but everything was kind of coming in hot. He had his report, and let's see, the total video games spending was down 9% compared to last year. Pretty rough, and most of that was driven by a massive dip in hardware. Let's see here. Video game hardware spending was down 29% in December. That's rough stuff. Even like during like when consoles are kind of discounted and people have gift cards, they didn't rush out to get new consoles. That audience has already gotten consoles and they're just not out there picking up new ones. Video game content was also down 5%. Just overall, not fantastic. This kind of speaks to what we were just talking about, so we don't have to go super deep on this, Mike. But did you get a chance to look at the MPD Circana report today?
Yeah, and I always kind of look at the software rankings. That's the thing that I'm get most interested in.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. Yeah.
And so if you look at the top 10, it's a lot of familiar names and no new releases. Some stuff with like surprising bumps here. Sonic X Shadow Generations went from 8 to 6. Again, this is the holiday month now, right? Even Astrobot went from 13 to 8th, and that's its like 4th month. The only new game on this top 20, Jeff, is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle at 14. Now, somebody asked Matt on Blue Sky directly, like, hey, is that like good for it? And he said, yeah, it's pretty good for a game just on Xbox and PC. And, I'll take his word for it. That doesn't look very good to me.
Doesn't look very strong. No.
It doesn't look good. And boy, is this, looking at that, I'm like, man, Microsoft is never going to release a game that doesn't come out on PlayStation on the same date, or at least very close again. 14. And again, Astrobot in its 4th month. And Astrobot's not like supposed to be one of the huge Sony franchises, right? In its 4th month, it is in rank 7. Indiana Jones rank 14.
And these this includes all of Indiana Jones's sales. None of its Game Pass downloads, but all of its physical sales on console and its digital sales on console and on Steam. And really it would be the Xbox Game Store as well, because there's no asterisk. Microsoft shares all the data here, and it's behind Marvel's Spider-Man 2, from years ago. It's behind Elden Ring, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now, I mean, my guess here is Indiana Jones probably did sell a lot of Game Pass, but I don't know how much Microsoft cares about that anymore. I know that was for years and years in our heads, like that's what they're doing. That's the whole business model. I don't think that's the whole business model anymore. It's about making money from all this money they're spending on making these things in the first place. Yeah, this doesn't look great. You're right. But I think you're right that it's done. This is from now on. These games are going out everywhere as quickly as possible. I don't think there's any chance that cat goes back into the bag. But yeah, Black Ops 6 is number 1. Then Madden, College Football 25, EA Sports FC 25, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Super Mario Party is like one of those juggernauts, isn't it?
It is.
Sonic Cross Shadow Generations at number 6. Hogwarts Legacy
Hogwarts at 7 still.
7,
man.
Yeah. There's a couple of these games, right, that would just join the juggernauts. And Hogwarts was definitely one of those.
Right.
Yeah. It's
impressive, Astrobot today. It clearly got a holiday boost and maybe even a Game Awards boost there, huh?
Yeah, I think a little bit of a Game Awards boost is kind of what that seems like. So good for it. I'm glad that happened. All right, let's see here. Last thing I think I have, Celeste devs cancel next game after falling out and difficult development. Basically, Maddie Thorson, creator of Celeste, along with other people, wrote a blog post saying they are canceling its Earthblade. Earthblade, which was going to be their new 2D pixel adventure action game, looked really cool, really promising. A lot of people were really looking forward to it. I love Celeste. So, of course, was going to play whatever they do next. They're canceling the game. It's not going to come out. They said a couple of reasons. For one, development became a slog, and they weren't like they said that too ambitious. They tried to like follow up the success of Celeste with something bigger and better, and then that really got to them. And then that combined with the fact that they had a falling out with their pixel artist over the IP rights for Celeste, something that they've since settled, they said, but after settling it, they decided they should go their separate ways. When they take that, combined with the slog of development, like, let's just cut our losses here. And while I'm disappointed, Mike, I mean, it sounds like probably the right move.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They're so kind of transparent and honest about what happened here.
Seems like Maddie, for sure.
Yeah, and it's just, it's always a little sad when it's like, there's a falling out over money, basically, right? And they kind of were cordial about it. But you imagine there may be some not so cordial moments there. Company makes this amazing game like Celeste, and they have the success, and you want to always hope that just leads to nice things for these people. But there's always this expectation that you got to get bigger and better. And they even talked about, yeah, we expanded and we had all these people in, and now like they're kind of all gone. That didn't really work out, right? We weren't really able to figure this game out, and it started becoming an unpleasant thing to work on it. It's a bummer because that game looked good, and at that time, like, yeah, this is the next game from the people from Celeste. It's gonna be a big deal, and now it's not gonna be anything. It's just kind of a whiplash.
Yep. Yeah. It's I think that they said as much that they are going to begin working on smaller projects. They're gonna try to do something more reasonable in scale and size. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely what you should be doing.
Towerfall 2.
Hey, I would take it. Absolutely.
I mean, I would like that.
That would rule.
Yeah. I know you said this, and yeah, maybe there's a lesson here. Like, you don't always just have to get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? I mean, well, Celeste was already actually a pretty big game for, what it was,
And so much like jam-packed into it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe there's I mean, hey, this is basically what happened with Sports Story too, right? Except they just released the game, and they kind of went through the slog, and it came out, and that didn't make anybody happy either. It's difficult out there. It's hard to make games. It's hard when you expand your team, and all of a sudden you're dealing with a lot of different personalities and different positions. And I won't say egos, but things get exponentially more complicated.
Of course, yeah. It's human beings are complicated and messy, and it's every team has this sort of issue. And I think that when you are setting out and you do have a success and you are trying to follow that up, yeah, this just naturally happens, and it's what it seems like clearly what's happening with something like I'll just call it Spoon Heaven.
Silk Song, everybody he means if you don't know.
Silk Song. Like they get so perfectionist about it because people love their first game and they want to make people to feel the same way about their next one. And at a certain
they already made like maybe the biggest Metroidvania ever in terms of the size of that thing. It's like, yeah, it's always like, man, where's Silk Song? Sometimes when I sit down and think about it, I'm like, it's not that surprising.
It's not that
taking
surprising.
Forever.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, but yeah, like you said, I would just say to developers, especially indie developers, you just don't need to. You can just make something around the same scale. And for Silk Song, that's going to be something still pretty big, though. So, of course, not surprising.
Look, it's great that Sean Murray went from Joe Danger to No Man's Sky, right? And now the next game is on Earth or something.
But look what it did to him. Yeah.
Right. It's not sustainable for everybody.
You don't have to do that to yourselves, is all we're saying. Like, you could just honestly make the same game over and over again for a very long time. And most people who are into your first game are going to be so excited by that. And I definitely would be.
Yeah. Jeff, before we move on, did you see the new NSO games?
Yeah, I was just going to get to them. So, Super NES Switch Online adds 3 new titles: Fatal Fury 2, Sute Hakun, and Super Ninja Boy. I don't know about Super Ninja Boy or Sute Hakun, but Fatal Fury 2, okay, cool. I don't know if that's the best Fatal Fury on Super Nintendo, but cool, neat.
I mean, it might be. The weirder thing is that you could buy the arcade versions of pretty much all the Fatal Furies already on the Switch, so it's probably work much better than this. So it's a neat curiosity, but
right, exactly.
It's a good video game. Yes. Speaking of Fatal Fury, they just announced an open beta for City of the Wolves. The new one for February 20th to 24th for all the platforms. It's like PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S, and Steam. So
Super Ninja Boy is it's an RPG. It's like a Dragon Quest.
It's an RPG with, it has turn-based mechanics and also some beat-em-up mechanics. So I don't know too much about it, but seems interesting. Yeah, Sute Hakun was a Japanese-only, I think Nintendo-made kind of platforming puzzle game. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what that's about. That's not like Fire and Ice. It's a Fire and Ice like.
Oh, okay, yeah. Look at this guy.
Solomon's Key.
He's an empty vessel, and then he drinks liquids and gets filled with them, and he's still sentient even without the liquids. So he's the jar.
Right. It's one of those drinking birds, like Homer Simpson used to work for him when he was on disability.
Yeah, that's right. It's a Kool-Aid man, like.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what you mean. One of those drinking birds that Homer Simpson had worked for him when he was on disability. All right, that's what I have. Other stuff happened this week for sure, but we got a lot of super chats. We're going to kind of pick up some conversations from there. Why don't we take a break? We'll come back and do that.
Sounds good.
It's going to be so hype.
I'll be right back.
Yep, do your thing. No problem.
Did I hit those? Power Wave.
Hey, Fatal Fury open beta, February 20th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, can't wait for that.
That seems pretty
Gonna be
cool.
lady.
Is yeah,
yeah.
Go ahead. I was gonna ask, is my live May?
No.
May, my,
No, it's February.
Yeah. You got it right
February 5th.
Yeah, February 5th. Yeah, I just checked my calendar.
In trailers, she looks like a lot.
What do you mean, Jeff?
It just looks like a lot.
What are you talking about? Remember Remember back in the day when you were streaming on Twitch and I put my GIF on it and you were like, "That is too much. That is too much. Take it out." It's like, oh damn,
it's too much. Yeah.
Oh dang, you didn't like that one. That
I'm
limit,
listen.
I guess.
I'm just listen. No, I'm not one of those naughty boys and girls that they're worried about. Wada's or not a Wada. God, what's the
Sakurai?
Sakurai. Thank you. That Sakurai's worried about. All right, what were you gonna say, Sean?
Could you turn the camera on for us, Jeff?
Turn.
Yeah.
For you. Oh yeah,
Discord.
totally. Yes. Sorry, I thought I did. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
For when we do the games, that's helpful.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Does Christian have Twitter? He's entertaining. Don't make his head big. Come on, we're trying to keep him contained. All right.
I do have a Bluesky, Christian.wtf.
Yeah, he's without the H though. Yeah.
Without the H, yeah, no H.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Oh.
YouTube crashed. Let me reload that.
All right, no problem.
As it does nowadays.
Just does that.
Yep, incessantly.
Fan funding. All right, I'm ready.
All right, he's ready. I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Let's do this. Fantastic. Okay. All right, we are back. We got some super chats. I'm gonna have my buddy Mike read those right now.
I'm your buddy. This is great. We got a first-time super chatter, and it's criticizing you. Tashi says, N64 being more interesting than PlayStation 1 is wilder than Dan's Mario mainline take. Without the pitchfork controller, it would be a totally pedestrian and bad console. Love you guys.
Yeah, I get that people feel this way. And what I think is, it means you're not interesting if you feel that way.
They said they love you. You can't be me just because they were. Yeah, come on.
I think Tashi's gonna like it. I think they want us to go back and forth a little bit.
He's gonna fuck with it.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna fuck with me on this one. Yeah.
Okay.
It's I get it. I get how people feel about the N64. But when you when I look at it, it's like the stuff it was doing. Like, come on, Mario 64 getting it right out of the gate is crazy. And Zelda having Z targeting right away is crazy. The physics being right in 1080 and Wave Race out of the gate is crazy. That stuff was not happening on PlayStation. The physics-based games on PlayStation are not nearly as good as what is happening on N64, and I find that very fascinating. That these people that were making the games at the time were so focused on, is this what 3D is supposed to be like? We think so. And they just figured it out. I mean, people don't have to agree with me. It's how I feel. And I know that I'm right about how I feel. So, oh well.
Yeah, like all that SGI lineage stuff is incredibly interesting. And I will say this, it seems to be the most divisive console, right?
Yeah.
That alone is interesting.
Yes, absolutely. And it's clearly maybe it's quirky. I would hear arguments for Saturn also being the most interesting. Them throwing in another a processor at the last minute because they were worried about the PlayStation and the way that polygons worked on it in some of those games where it was actually kind of just a bunch of textures facing the camera in the right way, so it was faking 3D.
It was all squares instead of triangles.
Yes,
which is bizarre.
That's also a very interesting console. It's just also kind of sad. So,
right, some of those decisions were bad ones.
Yes, starts a little bit.
They should not have had two
N64
CPUs.
sad in some ways as well, but it also just has some of the best games of all time, actually. So it can kind of overcome that a little bit.
Sign from Saskatchewan says, Mike, what kind of gravy is on Jeff's gravy train? Beef, KFC gravy? Please elaborate. What's your favorite gravy? Canada, restaurants often ask if you want gravy with your fries. This confuses my U.S. friends. Definitely that brown KFC gravy is probably the one in Jeff's gravy train for sure.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I love a good sausage gravy. I'm not a big breakfast person. And usually if I have breakfast, it's because it's some decadent thing, I'm on vacation or it's we're doing brunch for somebody's birthday. But if you have some sausage gravy and biscuits, oh boy, do I like that. God, that just tastes amazing. It's very adjacent to that, like that sawmill gravy, which is basically that but with a ton of ground pepper in it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good too.
Does anyone in your family call like Italian red sauce gravy?
Nobody.
Okay.
Nobody in my family. Nobody in this area.
Okay.
Does that?
Yeah, so
I think that's a New Jersey thing.
A New Jersey thing. Okay, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, we're not freaks.
You're not fucking with that, yeah.
Yeah. Sign for Saskatchewan says, what would you like for the next big remake / remaster?
I have my go-to answer for every time someone asks this question. I said it before. I'm going to keep saying it until it happens. I was just playing it last night. Shadows of the Empire. That game is so ready to be remade. For as hard as it would be to go back to that game now for someone who didn't play at the time, it's actually not that bad of a game. There's just some structural issues. You don't need to make it so punishing when you die and get a game over, have to start the level over. Just fix up some of those things and then make it look super pretty. Honestly, this is one that would be really good for a Night Dive. Night Dive could add modern controls to it, and that game would instantly click in a way for most people. But boy, I would love a real remake.
Yeah, I love that we get a lot of these sort of Star Wars games from that era and the generation after that ported or remastered. Now we just had Jedi power battles, and it's so neat. But it's always a little sad. It's like we're not going to get that for Rogue Squadron, huh?
Yeah. I think it's because Nintendo published those games, right? So is that just what it is?
It's that, and it's also everyone talks about how intense the code is in that one. It's hard to reverse engineer. It's hard to emulate.
Factor 5 had their very own technology for all the games they made.
Yeah, so gosh, you would almost maybe have to remake it from the ground up in some way and hope to God it feels good. But any of those, there's other weird Star Wars games from that era. I don't think maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they've done Starfighter and Jedi Starfighter. There's even like stuff that's not that good that I desperately want them to do, like Obi-Wan, Xbox game.
Did they do the Attack of the Clones game or the second episode 2? There's a video game of that. Have they? I don't think they brought that back.
No, I don't think we've gotten that, or like the episode 3 game, right?
Right.
Things like that. So yeah, all this. You're right though. Shadows of the Empire would be an amazing one to that. Not to get on my old man chair. That was a big deal.
Yes, it was.
Shadows of the Empire.
It was like a cross-media event from Lucas.
Cross-media event. They made a CD. They got an orchestra to make a soundtrack for it.
Yeah, and not for there's a separate soundtrack for the game, and then there was a different soundtrack that was just for the event of it happening, as if a movie had come out. It hadn't. But
it ruled.
And I think the composer of that did a lot of like Disney and direct-to-video Disney movies and stuff like that. So
right.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna just agree with you that Shadows of the Empire is the right answer for that one. That's a good one. Andy G says Warhorse Studios sent Kingdom Come 2 to YouTubers a month early. Confident move. The previews have received near universal praise for quality and fun. Wonder if it might be Baldur's Gate 3 levels of quality. It could definitely get a big boost like that. People liked that first one. This one seems like it's expanding. This is such a Twitter side effect. I just always see so much weird stuff about this game. And even the newest weirdest stuff was like in the other direction, right?
They're all, but Grums is mad at him for being woke now, yeah.
Right. But even then, so I'm like, oh, maybe this director's not that weird. So then I looked, and like his newest tweet was talking about how exciting some AI bullshit thing is. That's going. Oh, it was like somebody posted a thing that replaced a character from that Severance show with just Keanu Reeves. And the guy was like, look how amazing this is. I'm like, no, you idiot. This is bad. So, yeah, maybe I need to get over it and try the game. I don't know.
Yep.
Next one is from Dark Steel, Brushwag. How do we get Square to make me games like Claire Obscure? Can we get Ben Starr to put in a word? Yeah, at one point during our watch along on Giant Bomb Jeff, I was just like, and why can't they just make this? It's like the Final Fantasy.
Yep. I just think that was, that's the point. That's like, this is what people are asking them to do. Or I don't even know if they're asking them, but in so many Final Fantasy fans' hearts, it's very clear this is what they want Final Fantasy to be. or would love a Final Fantasy like this. A Final Fantasy doesn't have to be any one thing. But they want one like this, so just make it. Yeah.
I'll be very curious to know if they are still kind of on this whole, because I talked about this with Dragon Age, right? Like,
no, bro, every game had to have a different combat, bro.
Like that, in which it wasn't always the case for the series back in. And honestly, it's Golden Age. It wasn't the case for the series. Yeah, but just like, we got to make it more mainstream. Got to make it more mainstream. They said that all the time in the Final Fantasy 16 press junket, right? They said specifically it's an action RPG, so we can reach a larger audience, and they reach a smaller audience, right? like it's just the opposite. So I wonder if they still think that they were right and something else went wrong. And they're like, maybe we were wrong about that. Maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We watch Game of Thrones. Everybody should love this now.
Look, they're still allowed to make the game based loosely on the latest show they watch. They've always done that, and they will continue to do that. And then people get mad at me when I point it out, and then they'll be like, "Hey, it's a lot like that show," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Someone should have told you that." We'll see. I bet they are reassessing, and who knows what they settle on as the solution. But I do think every company would benefit from being like, let's make our games less polished and more interesting.
It's just, if Metaphor is a big hit and if Clear Obscure is a big hit, it's going to be real hard for them to justify why Final Fantasy isn't kind of more like Final Fantasy again.
Yep.
Somebody said Final Fantasy 17 Severance, and I want that shit now.
Yeah, I was also thinking, what TV show would it be that they're watching? Baba is me says, I know it's fun to dump on Dan, but I just thought I would mention that I randomly ran into him one time, and he and Ben Hansen were extremely nice, but I will say Dan is shorter than I thought. Oh, this is the real short king now. Oh, yeah, Ben. Oh, I mean, Dan's incredibly. Ben is nice, too. Dan is great to hang out with, right? He just, he has some wild takes sometimes. The whole, he couldn't even believe that anybody would ever look at their phone during watching a movie at their home.
Yes.
And I was like, and he's like, I recently had friends over. We watched a movie at 3 a.m. and not a single person were on their phone. I want to be like, Dan, what do you think's more likely, that that's true, or that people were on their phones sometimes and you didn't notice?
You're almost certainly right. I'm glad I didn't try to bring that up, because it would have been pointless, because he'd been like, no, well, I'm very observant, even though he knows he's not. But oh well.
There's always if this isn't a Dan thing, there's some people I gotta respect the movie. No, you don't.
No,
movies don't have feelings.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Right, yeah, right. And I'm like, there are some movies I want to respect, but most of them, this is just some bullshit that I'm putting on the TV to feel something for a little bit.
It's the slop.
Yeah,
it's fine.
And it's boy, my perspective on that has changed over the years, where it's now that I'm older and I have less time, it's I'm going to use my time however I want. And I will put some slop on the TV, and I will also be on my phone and also eating. And I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Then he shocked himself, and that was funny.
That was very good.
And by the way, he's mad that, I'm not as white as him. I just want to say, I think intentionally shocking yourself for fun is an incredibly white person thing to do.
I can't imagine any people of color doing that, no.
Next up is from James Pies. You say, do I start with Ninja Gaiden Black or Sigma? Oh, I think you just play Black.
Yeah.
People,
yeah.
And I have a hard time.
Harder.
Yeah, I have a hard time keeping track of this stuff myself, but I think generally all the Ninja Gaiden people tell you just to play Black, and that's why they are specifically calling this Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, because we had a Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma, and a lot of the fans weren't really happy with that version. So I think this is their way of trying to be like, no, this is the new definitive version. Play this. It's supposed to be as good as Ninja Gaiden Black was. You all still won't shut up about that one, right? Mm-hmm. I think the community right now is playing through that game and trying to figure out if that's true, right? If they agree with that. But from what I played, sure is nice. El Grug says, is Mike a Super Ninja Boy or a Sute Hakan? Neither. I have no experience with either of these video games that have been added to NSO.
Super Ninja Boy looks neat.
It looks neat. Maybe I'll dabble. I don't know. I did beat Donkey Kong Country Returns, so I need a new bedtime game. And even though I did all these RPGs and Donkey Kong Country Returns was my break, I'm maybe just ready to go back to an RPG.
Sure.
Right now. I wish that the Lunar collection was out. Maybe I'll get Tales of Graces on my ROG, that'd be fun. I'll figure something out. Next up is from Big Fresh 37. It says, guys, do a 4-player stream of the new Orcs Must Die that comes out next week. It's a roguelite. You'll like it on Game Pass 2. Penis.
I've seen people playing this. Yeah.
I've never played any of these games.
I played a couple of the early Orcs Must Dies. They were. Do you know why you didn't play them, Mike? Because I can tell you.
Are they tower defenses?
Because they're tower defense games. Yeah.
Yeah. No interest. You get somebody else.
Yeah.
Not me.
I bet you would still have a good time because they're actiony, and then you're down, at ground level. It feels like an action game. But I have seen people on my Steam profile, like my friends, playing this recently. I'm like, oh, is there a new Orcs Must Die? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. Sounds like a good time.
TGIF Ibromyalgia, says, would you all play a video game adaptation of the Silent Hill movie? Only if I got to be Sean Bean. He was in that, right?
Yeah, right? Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Bean, 2 video games I can associate him with. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. He's like the prince. He's the son of Patrick Stewart. And then the narrator in Civilization 5. So there we go. Sean Bean, video games.
I think maybe my favorite thing in the history of video games is Street Fighter, the movie, the game. I love the idea of having a game, making a movie, and then making a game based on that movie of the game. That is so dumb. That is almost as dumb as this there's a show on CBS called FBI, and they're making a spinoff called FBI:CIA. And that's incredible. What's dumber, though, is Street Fighter, the movie, the game, and I gotta respect that so much. So if we can get more of those, give me Silent Hill, the movie, the game. I would absolutely play that.
Think Sonic's fucked up by not doing that?
Yes, I don't think we're going to go much longer before they do it. I think Sega will.
You're right.
I think Sega is going to
do it.
Each movie keeps making more money than the last one. Yeah. They're like, eventually, no, this is just Sonic. Who cares about the games?
The franchise passed $1 billion, and I laugh because I always have that. They got bullied into making $1 billion line, and there it is.
They're lucky they have us yelling at them.
They sure are. Darachi says, Ninja Gaiden 4, I thought after 3 was Cruising USA.
Wait, what's that?
I don't get this one. Do you get this one?
Okay, let's try it. Ninja Gaiden 4, I thought after 3 was Cruising USA. No, I don't get it.
I don't get it.
This joke is too smart for us.
Yeah, we're really dumb. Are you forgetting that?
Tarachi Hope. Are you surprised, though, to make content off of the super chat? Are you surprised that it is just...
No, you got an explanation, Sean? Go.
Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 3.
Oh,
Cruising USA.
Oh, my God. It's the Wii Shop Channel song.
Okay, shit.
Wow.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Play.
Yeah, Darachi, that was our bad. All right?
That's on us.
Yeah.
You're a hero.
Yeah, you're actually really smart and funny. We suck.
We stink. Are you surprised it is just called Ninja Gaiden 4?
A little. But, because I thought the point that they don't want people to think about Ninja Gaiden 3 is actually pretty good. And it's been so long, why not make people feel like, oh, this is a good place to jump in. It's a reboot of Ninja Gaiden. But it owns that they called it Ninja Gaiden 4.
Do you think Baldur's Gate 3 has emboldened people to be okay with numbers again?
Maybe. I hope. Here's who I hope it's emboldened: gamers to just play games no matter what the number is attached to it, because they should know it's just gonna be a video game. You're gonna figure it out. You'll be fine.
I did hate when that tried to be ascribed to Final Fantasy's problems. Like, well, that number. I'm like, I don't think it's the numbers' fault. Everybody.
Remember people were like, they should get rid of the numbers if they want to sell more. I was like, what the fuck does that to do with anything?
I don't think they need to do that. It's funny because 15 sold pretty well, but I guess 60, that's not too high of a number all of a sudden. Mikey O'Leary says, I got my SNES pretty late when a local department store chain was going out of business, and Fatal Fury 2 was the first game I got with it. Feels right that it's finally on NSO. That's nice. I have to say, I don't think I knew a single thing about Fatal Fury until Capcom vs. SNK came out.
I was aware of it. I think there was it's Fatal Fury in the arcade, right? And I think I saw it at
Fatal Fury in the arcade.
Yeah, and they had a machine at my Pizza Hut that we would go and dine at as a kid when I would do Book It, and I would see it there and be like, "That's pretty cool."
Was it a Neo Geo arcade machine?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, I think so. But yeah, I saw it there. I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty dope. So that's my sort of early interaction with it, and so I was aware of it when I would see it in video game magazines after that.
Luke Allen says, do you know who developed the new Ninja Gaiden 2 Black Remake? I've searched the internet to no answer. You said this earlier, right?
I mean, I think it is just Team Ninja based on like the trailer saying just Team Ninja. And then on Steam, it says Koei Tecmo is the developer, which probably just implies it's a team within there, likely Team Ninja.
Yep. YouTube crashed again, real quick. Blah, 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 blah. Something about Ninja Gaiden. All right. Next up is from B. Traven. You think we're playing the remaster of the GOAT Outer Scrolls game known as Oblivion sometime this year?
I think so. I hope so more than anything. I don't think that those rumors picked up out of nowhere for no reason at all. I think that we probably do get this announcement, sooner rather than later. I guess, if it was coming, why not put it in that developer direct? So maybe it's coming later this year. Yeah,
a lot of these games were this first half. They're going to do that show that they do around Summer Game Fest again, and that could be something that we see there as maybe not a shadow drop, but we find out that that's one of their kind of holiday games or October games, something like that.
Sounds right. And, I don't know how much they're treating that delineation between Bethesda and Xbox Game Studios as like a hard line anymore. But in the past, they've like let Bethesda handle that stuff on their own. They do still have a team there that handles that stuff. So maybe, the Bethesda segment at Summer Game Fest is where they announce that.
Big Fresh 37 says, Dynasty Warrior got rave reviews, and now Ninja Gaiden is back. Is Koei Tecmo trying to hit that Capcom and Sega tier? It is interesting how many of these Japanese companies seem to be finding their groove again here.
I think it's just a big part of that is, these companies do see a chance to make money, but a big part of it is also there's just a huge crop of very talented artists and developers that grew up playing Japanese games, and they want to go work for the Japanese companies that made those games, and they are just littering those companies now with awesome talent, and we get to all benefit from it. So I'm very excited about it.
So you're saying EA not necessarily getting all the kids growing up playing Army of Two knocking on their door?
Yeah, right. It's not exactly, I'm going to go be an Imagineer at Disney when you think about EA.
Right.
I feel like Koei Tecmo was always like on the background. They always had good games, It just seems like they're bringing back the classics, so people is like noticing more.
Yeah, they always had like making the best Dynasty Warriors they've ever made, according to fans. Is that takes some extra juice, right? I think they're just finding their footing.
You think Dead or Alive's coming back? We're getting Virtua Fighter now and everything else there.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, I think that's where we're at with fighting games right now. I think that Dead or Alive feels like right on that line, but I think it's on this side of the line.
Maybe we'll see how Virtua Fighter does first.
That's
Yep. Brian Corliss says, check Wikipedia for the Mario Kart 8 sales data. Nestled between Overwatch and Witcher 3 with 50 million sales is none other than Human Fall Flat. Felt like a fun fact.
Yeah, Human Fall Flat, I think, is one that's like been like $5 so many times, and it's massively popular with kids on YouTube. I think my kids just are like aware of that. They played it a couple times, but they know more about it just because their friends are always talking about it.
How many copies did Witcher 3 sell?
Yeah, I don't know.
Gosh, if you told me it's sold 10 million, like, yeah, that's right. That game's a huge hit.
I would give 20 million, no problem. Yeah, because
apparently it's sold over 50 million copies. Jeez.
Holy shit. Okay. I mean, that's like every person throughout Western or Eastern Europe has a copy. That's what that feels like.
Right. Yeah. I knew that game was a big hit, but I don't think I knew it was quite that big a hit. Okay. Big Fresh 37 says, has the Pog Slamma seen Mai's casual outfit in Street Fighter 6? Is that just the one that looks like her City of the Wolves outfit?
Yeah, like leather zip up.
All right, boys, you're going to click the link that I just dropped in chat right now.
All right, I'll take a look if I have to.
I have this ready to go because I need to guilt Jeff into watching it after he was sheepish during the break.
This is what I was thinking of.
It's so good.
She's just sitting.
Send in a podcast stuff if you can. I can never see this channel.
She's sitting in friggin'
Mike, the YouTube chat.
YouTube chat.
My bad.
She's sitting in like her pajama short shorts, and then just like immediately goes into the. It's too much.
She does ninja transformation. It's great.
It's too much.
Yeah, I hope that's an outfit. I don't think so because
I hope it's an outfit.
Oh, they can sell that shit for $10 easily.
Capcom will never give us another outfit. They hate outfits, so somehow they're like, we're not going to do any outfits anymore.
I got to turn this off. I can't look at this.
Wow.
I could go hours shit talking Capcom about the outfits in Street Fighter 6. Sorry.
You're right, Mike. Oh,
that's That was interesting.
And I'm the boomer gooner.
I can't even speak straight. When is that out?
Next month, right?
Next month?
February 5th.
Yeah, next
February
month.
5th. I've been wanting to get back. I thought I'd get back with Terry. I didn't quite fill the pool, but yeah, I think mine will be fun to play as for sure.
Is Guile the Sonic Boomer Gooner?
Sonic Boomer Gooner. That's good. No, that's Amy Rose. Big Fresh Stories. Oh, that's the one I just read. Side-Eye with the first super player. Thank you so much. Says, oh, it was probably Side-Eye. That makes more sense. Thank you, Side-Eye. I played Bowser's Hurry alongside you guys and beat all of you all. So my punishment to you two is play mouthwashing. Thank you all thank you for all you do. Penis. I want to play mouthwashing anyway, so I should probably just do that.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, yeah, I will. I'm gonna play this, and then I will. I'll try to beat it in like one stream, and then I will start. Mike, every time I need to remember Grim Fandango, the first thing that pops in my head is Gran Turismo. Every time, it's my brain just like a G game, and then it just pops into my head as Gran Turismo. It sucks.
I mean, look, I kind of get it. That's incredible, though.
Every time.
That's great. Fantastic. That one guy, also the first super chat. Thank you so much to all the first-time super chatters today, everybody. Really great appreciate that. Says, I must be an Egyptian pyramid the way... Maybe I should vet these. The way I'm bricked up for no reason.
Did this come in after mine? No, this came in an hour ago. Excuse me. So you said for no reason.
I still think mine is to do with it.
I blame mine for a lot. Yeah.
Right. Big Fresh 37 says, I'm not pro acquisition anymore, but we know Platinum is in real trouble if Ninja Gaiden 4 goes well. Koei Tecmo decides to buy Platinum. That might be a good move. Might be a sensible move. Yeah. We'll see how things shake out. We'll see if that's something that they want over there right now. It's scary being on your own. We've seen that before, but there's some autonomy there. Excuse me. So if you're working for Koei Tecmo, like, you're going to do what they say.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, pro anti-acquisition, it is a fact of life. It's the reality of the way the business works. And like, what's the alternative? Platinum goes out of business, and then someone comes up and scrapes up the corpse and takes the IPs, and suddenly fucking THQ Nordic or whatever it's called now has all those IPs. You don't want that either. Sometimes it's like, yeah, there is no great outcome in a lot of these situations. Some company coming along that cares enough to spend money and give the people who work there, who have stock, a buyout. That's a pretty decent outcome. It's not going to be great in every situation, obviously, but I think that'd be pretty okay here.
Big Fresh 37 says, I'm not... Oh, that's one I just read again. Sorry. Prinny Dude says, kind of worried for compulsion if Microsoft doesn't have their expectations in check for South of Midnight. It was my standout of the Direct, though. It's also $40. Man, they really do like have dynamic pricing for all that stuff.
I mean, hey, you know what else is $40? Hellblade 2.
Oh, right.
I don't know why my brain just makes these associations too, Mike, and it's like I don't know why I let this scare me off. Like, let's just judge this game based on its own stuff. But it's like, man, I don't know. I want Microsoft to be like, hey, yeah, we have another big $60 game, even if it's like maybe not big in all those ways. I don't know, just position it as being important.
I know. It's just a little weird. Like, look, I'm like, Nintendo shouldn't have sold Donkey Kong Country Returns for $60, but like, they can and they do, right?
Yep.
I don't know. It's a little. I do think it's a good point. Like, if you ask me all those games I saw there, which one do I think maybe has like the least selling power, and that's that's not a qualification about its quality or anything like that. Yeah, maybe it would be that one. So I hope Microsoft has reasonable expectations on that.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Totodile says Oblivion remake can't be a lie, right? Right?
It's not a lie. It's happening, but we're just wondering when.
It's a dream. It's a dream, and 2025 is the year of dreams, motherfucker.
There you go. True, it is the year,
Christian.
Screaming Mad says, buy one, rent one, banish one. In-universe Simpsons games. Your picks are Lee Carvello's Putting Challenge, Bone Storm, and Kevin Costner's Waterworld.
And that's different from our realities, Kevin Costner's Waterworld, the game.
Right. That's a very different Super Nintendo game that I somehow own a vinyl soundtrack of.
I am going to buy Kevin Costner's Waterworld. I'm going to rent Lee Carvello's Putting Challenge, and I'm going to banish Bone Storm.
I'm buying Lee Carvello's Putting Challenge for sure. It's the game that all the kids are talking about, according to Marge. Kevin Costner's Waterworld, I got to rent it. Got to see what's going on there. Got to see if it's as good as that stunt show. Bone Storm was a flash in the pan, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's just chasing fads. It was just all about violence. I'm over it.
Yeah, I don't need
Banished.
that. Yeah.
Give me Bone Storm. Go to hell. Al Grug says, is UPF tomorrow going to be Dan going through that YouTube sensitivity / copyright training for spoiling the entire Terminator franchise penis?
Maybe. Yeah, I honestly, Sean, do you have any idea what we're doing for UPF? You guys, you were at the meeting that I was not at.
We're doing UPF.
Oh, are we not doing UPF? I don't know.
I didn't think we were doing UPF.
Okay.
Don't we have to do it? Don't we have to do the music things eventually?
That's next week.
We're
We're
doing
doing the
the
fantasy draft.
We're doing a fantasy draft tomorrow for sure. So, yeah.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
That's fun.
You ready?
We didn't plan
I get to be there, right?
Yeah. You have to be there.
You had to be there.
Well, then
Yeah,
I
it's
will.
mandatory.
In that case, I'll be there.
I'll probably throw something together for UPF. Everybody, we'll see.
All right.
There's stuff we can find something.
Yeah. We just do a regular style UPF. Do a bunch of games.
Why don't you just play Ninja Gaiden 2 Black?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Let's do
But
it.
you want Jeff to play it?
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
I already played it. Oh, or Sean can play it.
Sean can play
or
I can play.
yeah. No, you're not gonna play Grim.
Nin Sean.
I'm not gonna play Grim Fandango on
Hey,
UPF.
Sean
I'm gonna
Gaiden.
I'm gonna do that on my stream.
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Yeah. What
What'd
do you say,
sorry?
Christian?
Nin Sean Gaiden.
Sometimes I didn't hear you,
all right.
but even if I did, I don't think I
All
would
right.
have said anything.
All right.
I like it.
It sounds like a Blood Club name right there.
Oh,
for
sure.
Sounds like.
Without
How
a
many
doubt.
syllables is Ninshon?
Oh my God!
One.
Don't even get
Is
me
it
started
oil?
on it.
I mean, Sean,
Wait.
listen, you could be happy that you are technically correct. The best kind of correct, all right?
Fibromyalgia. It's just like it was right there, Mike.
It was because it was tacked to the end of an acronym, all right? That's our initial, so that's not his fault. All right. Any more super chats, Mike?
That's it for now, everybody. Thank you so much for all of those. Again, thank you for the first time super chatters. If you want to still send a super chat in during the show, we will read it before the end of the program, so do not hesitate.
All right. That does it for the super chats for now. As Mike said, send them in. We'll get to the rest if you do send in any more. We're going to take another quick break, get set up. We got a couple of games, right, Sean? 2 games, I think?
Yeah, a game and a summary of a game.
Right. That's
Okay.
right. Okay. We'll get to that right after this.
Break. We are in a break.
All right.
Thank you, Mikey O'Leary, Ninja Gaiden. There we go. There we go.
But Jan's
That's the
name
kind of
always
thing we
goes
do.
well with things.
He's got a good name.
That's cheating.
Someone said Nikki Gaiden. That's not terrible.
That's 2 on the nose. That's 2 on the
Two
nose.
on the nose. 2 on the nose.
Yeah. Here, let's
Ninja
do
Grubb.
Wolf's thing first because we usually end with Bob's thing.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, Sean, if you're running that league, you should turn off auto pick because it's broken on Fantasy League.
It's broken how?
It lets people pick games that shouldn't be picked, shouldn't be able to be picked. We had an issue on one of the servers
Weird.
I'm in where like a
I
person
mean, yeah, Go ahead.
a person got they got Monster Hunter. They shouldn't be able to get it because they're previews, and the Yakuza games that also have previews and shouldn't. They got it because they had the auto pick.
Wait, you can't get something that has previews?
Yeah.
Yep.
What? That
Why?
doesn't sound right.
I
don't think that's ever been a
we
rule.
all tried to get it, and no, everybody got the same message. Just like you can't pick this game because it has previews. It has like some coverage already, so you can't.
Huh.
And then the person
But
that had
lots of
auto
games
pick
have
on.
previews.
That sounds some weird South American rules, fantasy critics.
I like playing with British people. It's their fault then.
All right.
Well, either way, everyone's going to be present for the draft, so it'll be fun.
I only participated on that one because I committed the mistake of asking if they were doing it, and they were like, "You had to be on it, or we're gonna ban you from the Discord." I was like, "Fuck."
Oh.
All right.
Jeez.
Okay.
All right. All right. I'm set up on my side. Are we good to go?
I'm joking, but
I think we should be good, yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
I'll bring us back in.
Just go.
All right, we're back. We have some games. I don't know what's going on, so I'm going to let Sean take over the show starting now.
Yeah, that's what I do. So we have a mess of a guess. We did the summary for last year, however many weeks ago that was. I don't remember. But here we are now with the Q1 predictions for 2025. If you didn't know, this is put together by Uncharted Wolf in the community. He puts together this awesome open critic prediction game for the guys every quarter. It is, of course, executive produced by Benji. Mario Kart, but Forza Horizon is GOATY, Bop. So shouts to both of them.
Man, I hope so. That would be awesome.
That game. Anyways, okay,
really
that's beside the point. But the rules of this game, it's your first time watching. So the Game Mess guys and the community, we'll talk about that later, will be predicting the Open Critic score for 11 games releasing in Q1 of 2025. Deadline for the community guesses is when the first game gets its reviews. I will put up a thread in the Discord where everyone can put their predictions in up until that point. So reminder that Mike won last year.
Is that right?
So
I could have swore I did.
Okay.
I at least won one of the quarters, I think, right?
No.
Mike's victory from last year means that he will go first in this guessing game, and then we're going to snake it from there, back and forth. The Jeff Grubb research clause dictates that you can choose to do some research for one game of your choosing. You have to call it out and make it very clear to me that you're doing that. And now, as Jeff suggested, and we all thought it was a good idea, we're just doing an overall win for the year. That's all that's going to be recorded anymore, and we're just going to get quarterly updates to see how you guys
are doing. Have a lot of added rules after Jeff complains about something on it.
I'm good at complaining. You should try it sometime.
Look, Mike, he pays the bills. What am I going to say to
Daddy
him?
ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Anyways, to make Jeff look stupid, he won in 2023, but definitely lost in 2020. You don't remember your victory.
I don't remember.
You got fucked up on that.
You kind of got messed up last year. But you did well in 2023.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay, anyways, let's get to the guessing. First game here is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Mikey, as mentioned, we'll be starting with you.
Part of me almost wants to say research, because I don't know. With critics, I know this game sold really well. People liked it. How did that first one do with critics? I bet this one will do better. How much better? I am going to be a smidge safer and say an 85.
Alrighty. Jeff?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable with going with 84 for this one, because I think it's going to be in that range, but I think it will kind of slant a little bit lower, so like 83, 84.
Okay, got it. But you're locking in 84, right?
84 is what I'm locking, yes.
Okay, got it. Game number 2 is Civilization 7. Jeff, going first.
This is so tough, right? Because a bunch of previews came out, and I guess I don't have to give away all the... Well, he's going to hear my score no matter what. A bunch of previews came out, and people seem to be going gaga for this thing. But there could be like one problem with it at launch, and like what happened with Flight Sim, it just gets blasted in its reviews, and then it's screwed from there. So, I don't know. Can you really predict that? I think I'll just have to assume that this game is going to be the game it's going to be, and I'm going to go with an 86.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always difficult with Civ, because when the new one launches, people always get kind of mad. Like, this doesn't have as many features as the last one. Why am I not just playing the last one for all the expansions and blah, blah, blah? So it could take a little bit. Plus, the diminishing returns of it, it's so much harder for these games to seem all that much different from a game that came out 7 years ago. And they're doing stuff here, like the way you can change leaders when you go into eras. And like Jeff said, the previews were positive. So maybe I think people are going to be into it. Jeff said 86.
I said 86.
I'll say an 88. That seems high. I'll say an 87. 87.
87 final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
Okay, so then Mike, I need you to tell me what you think Avowed will get.
Here we are. I've been a Defenders game. I think it's going to be fun. I think some people are going to be up with it not being as big as a Skyrim, right? I think there might be some people who aren't as into that kind of first-person RPG thing anymore. I think generally it's going to be good and do well. I don't know if it's going to, be an amazing reviewing game. I'll say like an 82.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the range I'm in. I think I was going to say 80, but I don't like having only like 1 point above me for space in case it does pop off. That stinks. 82 is a really good guess, Mike.
I thought so.
Yeah. That's that. This is one that I wish there was a way to like do research on. I guess I can look at how Outer Worlds did, but I don't know if that's not going to apply 1-to-1.
Different
here.
time, a different Obsidian, right?
Yeah. So that
was just an Obsidian fun little thing, not an Xbox first party release.
I'm gonna go against my gut and assume that this game is gonna actually surprise, and I'll go with an 83.
Okay.
I'd be happy if I got an 83.
Me too.
Next up for Jeff, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Yes, this is one where it's like, hey, this franchise has a lot of love going for it right now, and the spin-offs often do okay-ish. I am not going to get carried away with this one. I'm going to go with an 80.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. Like the spin-offs usually don't review as well as the numbered games. A lot of reused assets. I do think the goofiness factor of this is gonna help it a lot, and like, such a kind of weird, surprising theme. So I think, again, I'm gonna say 82 again. I think this one will do pretty well for these spin-offs.
How many games are left? Do you know, Sean?
Well, there's 11 total. This is number 4.
Right.
So,
Okay. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Mike, Monster Hunter Wilds.
Shit. Gosh. It's a series that has just been doing so well. I think people are very excited. There are still some concerns about performance. I think some people are concerned about how much of the kind of lame story content there is based on that beta too. I bet that story content stuff is going to be front-loaded, and by the time reviewers play a lot of this game, they're not going to even really remember it being a little annoying. Performance is a little bit more iffy, but I bet people will get over it. I think it's going to do well. I'm going to say... I'm gonna say 90.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna use my research clause on this one. Just you son of a bitch.
Go for it.
It's exactly a 90.
Would you look up World?
Yeah, World. Yes, World was 90.
Yeah, it checks out. That sounds right.
Yeah, that does sound right. Yeah, I just want to double check, and it's
I mean, good that you researched it, because I mean, a game almost never comes in directly around the same, couple of points difference of its predecessor, right? So
I'm okay. It's open world, and that open world tech has not been solidified yet. Yeah. I think I will go with an 89. I think it'll just get dinged a little bit. Who knows?
Okay. I almost like personally I almost want to take the over on that one.
I know, for sure, but it's like I had to base it on something.
It's a safe call.
It's a safe call. So I have to base it on something. It's like, but you're right. Easily could be 92, 93.
Yeah, I think this might actually be the one that is like people like it for different reasons, so it is just a tiny bit higher.
Yep.
Well then next, 2 Point Museum, Jeff.
Man, wish I would have saved my research clause for this one.
I immediately was like, wait, what did 2 Point Hospital do?
2 Point Hospital. There's like 2 Point College or something, right? University. Shit. I'm going to go ahead and say 79.
Okay, well, Mike, if you want to use it, you still can.
Yeah, gosh. There's going to be some other games coming up here. I mean, what Jeff says sounds about right, though. That's the thing. Like, these games, I think they do well enough. I think they are big hits. I think the museum thing is fun. Like, I'm more interested in making a museum than a hospital. That was my favorite thing in Animal Crossing, was going through the museum.
Oh, museum's the best
Jeff,
thing.
You said a 70 what now?
79.
Oh, I'll say 80.
Okay.
All right.
I think I'm going high. I think I'm going high.
Fair.
But, they made a couple of these now. They should know what they're doing. Museums are fun. I'm going to be optimistic.
All right, now we're locked in. Chat, tell us what campus and hospital got, just for my own curiosity.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
While that's happening, Mikey, what do you think Split Fiction's gonna get?
Is anybody? I can use the research to find out what a game is, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. If you need to, yes.
Wait.
No, guys, if you want research, go for it, bro. I ain't gonna stop you.
Yeah.
You guys know what Split Fiction is?
No.
Yes. No, yeah, Jeff.
Let's see. Split.
Let's just both guess blindly.
I'm using it.
Fuck.
I'm officially using it.
It's Joseph Ferris's new game.
Yeah.
Oh shit. That's all I needed to know. I'm glad I did, because if I didn't remember that, I might have gone low. Well, then now I'm here. What did It Takes Two did? It did pretty well.
I don't know what game of the year did.
Yeah, it was like a 92, I believe. Well, let's see what it did. This is an 88 now on Metacritic. Depends probably where you go. 89 depending on the platform. I don't think it's gonna necessarily do better, because I think it's gonna be so similar. But maybe it's gonna be better than It Takes Two, just because it's gonna play like that and not have the annoying divorce plot, right? And so far, his scores have just gone up. Yeah, I'll say 90. I will say 90 for Split Fiction.
Yeah, I think I have to go with 89 there. It's just hard to take the over on anything in the 90 range. But also I think that the reason these games have not gotten into the 90s yet is, like, I think there is some friction, and you're going to have to find a very certain audience, and they're very discerning. Yeah, 89. I'm going 89.
Yeah, I hope it's in the 90s though, because this game looks freaking awesome.
There's
from that
so
trailer
many ideas in that trailer. Yes, it looks very, very promising.
All right, back to Jeff then for Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah. Man. Okay. Previews for this one were pretty good too. I'm gonna go with, what does a good previewing Assassin's Creed game do? I'm gonna say 85.
Okay.
The previews were really good. I also remember when Dragon Age of Veilguard got all those really good previews too.
Yeah, it's kind of
sometimes games just preview well.
That's right.
I think it looks really slick. I think it looks fun. I think it's going to be very, very big still, and I think that's going to turn a lot of people off. Not a lot, but enough that it's more of an 84.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Then we go to Mike next for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Oof. I would love to know what the original Xenoblade Chronicles X did.
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, if I can say it.
Gosh. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 reviewed very well, and so did the remake of 1, I believe. I don't think people like this review. I know that review-wise, this one never did quite as well as those. It's less story-focused. I bet it's going to do well. I think, though, maybe more like an 84 for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition.
Say an 84?
84.
Okay. I'm gonna take the under on that one. I'll go 83. I just think, like, it'll do okay, but I think there will be enough in the 70s to bring it down to around an 80, 81. So I'll just go 83 to be safe.
It's tough when you're doing a remake / heavy remaster, because then, do people ding it for like not being enough of an upgrade, or the original is sometimes a factor. So, yeah. Game number 10 is Atom Fall. Jeff.
Now, what's this one?
I was hoping you would tell me.
Okay, let's just 80.
Okay. Mike.
What is this? 75.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Christian, this feels like something you would be keeping tabs on. Can you describe it?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's Rebellion's new game. I don't know a lot about it.
Oh, it did look pretty okay.
I think it's a survival game.
Yeah. Okay, right. Okay.
All right.
That's fine.
Familiar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel good about 75.
Yeah, I think 75 sounds better to me too now.
All right, and then we're closing things out with the game that activated Mike Minotti, Ben Starzone, the first Berserker Kazan.
Mikey,
what are you feeling? Yeah, I know when I expressed my disinterest, a lot of people seem shocked to me. So I think maybe the Souls freaks are actually kind of excited about this one. But even then, like, Lies of P got like an 82, and that's everyone's like, that's the best one that's not made by From Software. There's such a tax on these kind of games if you aren't made by From. A lot of that is because From does it best for sure, but still, First Burger's on. I'm going to say a 77.
I'll go 76. I'm going to go under.
Okay.
Yeah, just feel like this one's going to miss.
All right, there's a demo out, and I have not played it yet, but I've also heard nothing positive about it, so that probably doesn't bode well for it.
Okay, all right, yep, cool.
All right. Well, Wolf says, here's to another year of Mess of a Guess. Good luck, and don't make me add more rules to help you win.
You don't have to put it like that.
Called you out.
Yeah.
All right. And then I have been keeping track of your guesses here, so let me pull that over. And,
I don't feel good about mine, actually. Now that I'm like looking back at it, don't feel great. So
I don't know. And I feel like I could have gone lower on Kazan maybe, but we'll see.
I was noticing a trend here up until the end. You guys think most games will score basically in the 80s range?
Yeah,
this quarter?
I really don't feel good about that now that I'm looking back. Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, people watching the video version, it's on screen right now. And if you're on the audio version, I'll do a fast recap. So for Kingdom Come Deliverance, Jeff said 84, Mike said 85, Civ 7, Jeff with 86, Mike with 87, Avowed, Jeff with 83, Mike with 82, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Jeff said 80, Mike 82, Monster Hunter Wilds, Jeff said 89, Mike said 90, 2 Point Museum, Jeff 79, Mike 80, Split Fiction, Jeff with 89, Mike with 90, Assassin's Creed Shadows, 85 for Jeff, 84 for Mike, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Jeff said 83, Mike said 84, Atomfall, the game these guys didn't know, Jeff said 80, Mike said screwed 75, and the first Berserker Kazan, they both think will miss a little, Jeff with 76, Mike with 77. I'm looking forward to checking this out. And like I mentioned, for anyone who is in the Discord, Jeff mentioned always, you can join that at the top of the show. I will put up a thread where you can put your guesses in up until whichever the first game to get reviews gets reviews. And I'll make sure that everyone can see that there too.
Tell you what, if we're right though, it's gonna be a good couple months for games.
Yeah, solid quarter. It's looking like, because I think you guys.
Yeah, well, these games aren't going to score in the 80s, so, you know.
Yeah, you guys are pretty good at predicting these scores, generally speaking. So, if you're right, hey, look at some good games.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think maybe we should toss it to another break real quick while I get set for the final thing, and then we can close out.
That sounds right. All right, so Mess of a Guess is in the books now for the next 3 months. Like Sean was saying, we'll get the results here after the end of the first quarter. Get a check-in at that point. Looking forward to it. Sean's going to get set up for the next thing. We're doing a recap.
Recap for Fantasy Critic. Yep.
Fantasy Critic recap right after this.
All right. Everything queued up, so it shouldn't take too long here. Let me. Where's the button?
Should be the same.
Let's see.
Change windows. Yeah, I got it framed up, so it should just be as easy as. Let me scroll to the top, and then swap it over.
Civilization 7. I hope that's really good.
And if I did everything correctly, it should be framed up all right. Yeah, for the most part, yeah. There we go.
Yep.
Speaking of Civ 7, they announced Endless Legends 2, which is, as we were talking earlier.
Oh, right, the 4X.
For the podcast. Yeah, another 4X. It's the mega death of the...
Right, the mega death of 4X game.
A 4X game, yeah.
Well, just because it's like...
if Civ 6 is Metallica.
Because
it's more popular, but Endless Legend, I think, is better, but it's way less popular.
Okay.
Just like Megadeth.
I'm glad that Wolf tried to throw us off with Atomfall. I'm glad your plan succeeded.
Yeah, Michael, appreciate that when it gets back.
I heard that name. I still don't know what the fuck.
Atomfall. Man, it's out in March.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, we had that problem. Yeah, people in the Fantasy Critic Discord is talking about that bug I was talking about the.
Oh, so it's like a known bug.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if for future reference, what if I hear a game and I'm like, I think it's gonna get delayed, by like a month to like April, how many points would I get if I was right about that? Would that just be the same amount of points? Or is that like, can that be like a Hail Mary?
I think that's enough of a Hail Mary that could be a good 2-pointer.
Yeah, it sounds right. Yeah.
Let me look at this. Is there any games that I think...
Adam Falls March 27th. I could see it just getting 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks.
It's always been a rule. Wait, what do you mean it's always been a rule? That's not on the rule sheet. What are you talking about, Wolf?
Did Sniper Elite Resistance already get reviewed? Is that why we didn't do it? Yeah, okay.
I mean, Wolf picks the games that he thinks will be most interesting for the guessing game.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
The game's out next week.
Wolf says you get 2 points.
Okay.
Is there even anything that you think would get delayed out of the court? I guess maybe Avowed.
It would just be Adamfall.
Avowed again?
That's at the very end.
Adamfall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not again.
Sniper Elite already got reviews, and also he does not care about it. Oh, 2 very compelling reasons. Sure, well, fair enough. All right.
Can't argue with that. All right.
Hey, good job. We're framed up, ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
Bring us back in. All right, we're going to do a recap of the Game Mess Fantasy Critic. This is the Fantasy Critic League we do with the entire community. It leads to some fun stuff. We're doing it again this year. It's already settled, though, so I don't think there's no like late joiners or anything like that. But first, before anything else, let's wrap up last year. Sean, take it away one more time.
Right, yes. So as we mentioned, our friend Benji Bob also puts this one together, in addition to helping Wolf on the art game.
Thank you, Benji.
Yeah, Bob does a lot for us. Thanks, Bob. So this, like Jeff said, you cannot get into the new game. That's just how things worked out for scheduling. We couldn't get this ready to go before we actually played or set up for the new game this year. But hey, people were clearly paying attention to everything that I said throughout last year, because we still had a ton of people playing in the leagues this year. So that worked out in the end, anyways. But yeah, here is your 2024 recap for the Game Mess Fantasy Critic League. So here we have, let's see. I see what Bob did here. If you made the overall top 10, he hid your score for dramatic effect. So on the Game Mess Critiques leaderboard, we have top 4 through 10. So at the bottom of this league is Jeffrey Grubb with his Stunt Race FX
that's
on those
10 out of
gaming.
Several hundred, right?
You charted. That's not bad.
10 out of... Well, what would your league have been? About 15? 20?
Okay. Yeah,
15 to 20, somewhere
Mike's right.
in there.
I charted, and that's all I was ever aiming for.
And then since this is the end of the year, maybe I'll go through all these.
Just say the name of my team, because I thought I did a good job on that. That's what I really cared
I
about.
did, but I know you weren't paying attention. Now, Stunt Race FX on those hoes gaming is, in fact, very good.
Hell yeah, I was paying attention that time, though.
Shouts to Disposable Content in 9th place, Crandis McBasketball in 8th, Tyler James Bay in 7th, Bar Speckle in 6th, Sir Meatwad in 5th, and Sane Crazy Man in 4th in that league. Last of the Critique Dogs leaderboard. Is this, let's see, whose league is this? I don't recall, because it looks like the leader is not on here. But shouts to E. Jackalope in 10th place, Wazbat in 9th, Vanderlyle in 8th, Adam Juice in 7th. Oh, they could have gotten a top 3, I suppose. Dr. Ryan in 6th, Razzle Jazzled in 5th, and Screaming Madden in 4th.
That might have been my league. I may not have charted. I think it was rough.
Closest to the Messy Critic, I believe this should be Bob. Yep, there he is. Bob's league. Evo Janis got 10th place. Breadfish got 9th. DK Bomber 13, 8th. Low Rule Legend, in 7th. There's Benji Bob with Bob's Shadow Drops in 6th. Yellowbeard 335 in 5th. GameCube Chris in 4th. And Villain Mac in 3rd. Moving on to critical,
different divisions in our entire league for people who are wondering.
These are all different divisions within the greater league. Yes, Critical Jeopardy. I know this is mine because named after the game that I totally still do. From the bottom up, 10th place, Luis A. Garcia. Shouts to Big Man Finelli in 9th place, Philly John Studios. Yo, what's up there, Jason? Epic Open World got 8th. Chaos Buckaroo got 7th. Moonlight 150 in 6th. Blackheart Vinyl in 5th. Beef Hammer 11 Crown, who put that there, in 4th. By No He's Not first. Beltrad in 3rd. And What Up Mango in 2nd. And then, yes, first place is hidden because that person got in the overall top 10.
Was it you?
No. My league... Once again, my league was cutthroat, so halfway through the year when I couldn't get anything, I'm like, well, I'm just losing this one. Shit. Over onto Critique Bros. I think this would be AJ's led one. Rex Vex? Rex Vex?
Yeah,
Rex Vex. In 10th. Shoji Kodo in 9th. Pseudo Gerudo, that's a good name, in 8th. Fusion in 7th. Sprite 5 in 6th. B Corliss 9 in 5th. Hale State in 4th, Dr. Lynch in 3rd, and Teshi 1999 in 2nd place. Here is the top 10 with everyone who was not mentioned up until this point. 10th place, Teach QC with Console Wars Social Construct Industries. Very nice there.
90 points. That's what it took to get to the top 10 overall.
Points.
Yep.
Yeah, God. Like in case people haven't been paying attention to the Fancy Critics stuff, this is a game we play where you try to draft a team. I realized I should have done that top. You try to draft a team of the best games, and you get points. The better those games score on Open Critic. So yeah, 90 points.
And I think I had like 50-ish points. So like that just gives you an example of the gap.
Who could say how many points I had?
Coxtifer with L3 and R3 to publish your game. Not bad. 91 points there in 9th place. Nicely done. Fish and Love with Chuckle Fish and Love. 93 points in 8th place. Glowworm with Gat Productions in 7th place. That was 96 points. Input name here with What Are You Doing to Me? Zetai Ryoiki Corp? 99 points. Is that a Yakuza thing?
No.
I
don't know what it is.
Idea I don't know what that is. Yeah. 6th place there.
Absolutely. I know what it is. Fuck, I looked it up. Don't look that up. Sorry.
Cool. That's what you want here. I'm Way Gooderest with Beef Thesda. I expect that to be Beef Hammer. 99 points got them in 5th place. And then Matt Rare Monkey, a name we all know, with Rare Monkey AM2. 4th place with 105 points. Your top 3 for the year. 3rd place, Bugadillos from Software to Eternity. 109.11 points.
Well done.
2nd place, the silver, our boy Bench JC with
Bench.
The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the War for Waifus Remastered. 118.65 points. And then number 1, your winner for the year in the community. 1st place goes to the 1995 Charlotte Hornets, run by Joy Z. 122
Good
points.
job, Joy Z.
It's Joy Z.
Joy Z.
And Bob says here, congratulations to Joy Z, Glenn Rice, and the 1995 Charlotte Hornets.
Man, feels like it was just yesterday I read Joy Z's first super chat and it said the name like it was
and
Jersey.
Completely changed their name to
yeah. And look at him now.
From like Joyous or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, let's get to the real dirt. The captain's leaderboard, firmly at the bottom, because like I said, yes, I did in fact give up when it was clear I couldn't win anything. My league, Crystal Dynamics, 25 points because I couldn't get shit. Not too far above me, AJ Minotti's Edge Games, 38 points.
Ooh, my bad.
Oh, damn. Censoring me.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wow.
3rd place was Mike Minotti's Rocket Mike Adventures.
Oh, that's pretty good.
42 points.
Okay, I feel better now that I'm in the middle of the pack. I'll take it.
There is Grubb's Stunt Race FX on those hoes gaming with 51 points. And then look at that, the guy who made the game, Benji Bop's Shadow Drops, at the top of the captain's leaderboard with 75 points.
Good job, Benji.
Congrats, Benji.
He noticed our movement here over last year. And yes, I dropped considerably, 4 places. Edge guy went down 1. Mike went up 2.
I'm on that.
So nicely done there. Jeff stayed the same.
Always number 2.
Always number 2, apparently. And then, Bop rocketed to the top there.
I was number 2 in the Giant Bomb League as well, by the way.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And God, that would have been so different. I got Call of Duty. Anyways, Bob leaves a quote for us at the bottom, and I quote, "Hold this L, other captains."
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, gosh.
Congrats, Bob.
Important news for 2025. Shouts to the new commissioner. Bop is retiring. He's a little too busy to be super involved and run all that stuff now. He has passed the torch on to Matt Rare Monkey, someone that we know and love.
Right. And that was a lot of work setting that up. So thanks to Bop for doing it last year. Thanks to Rare Monkey for taking that over.
Thank you, Bob. Matt already did a great job with the draft, so thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and as Bob notes here, Matt officially takes over for the 2025 season. Reach out to him in the Discord if you have any questions or any problems there. And Bob says finally here, thank you to all 83 participants this year for playing. Because this game is really fun. I love that we can do this with the community.
It's nice to see a nice, smooth, peaceful transition of power.
Yeah, for once. Yeah.
There was no coup d'etat, nothing like that.
Nope.
Did we broke the page this year when we all drafted at the same time?
No, because Matt was very smart and very much staggered out the draft. So we all did it at different times at different days. So it all went smoothly. Yeah. What's interesting this year, though, quite the call here, and I like it, is that me, Jeff, and Mike are all in the same league this year.
Yeah.
So when you get these updates, you get to hear us argue a lot more. Not we're all competing against each other.
Yep. It's already pretty hard to get games, though. It's been difficult. I had a couple I had my eye on.
Now you know how it feels, huh?
Yep,
when your league is super competitive.
It's going to be rough. Yep.
Yeah, as the chat points out, though, Matt is already doing a great job. So,
and if you like this sort of thing, Giant Bomb, we're doing our league of the staff they're drafting tomorrow. So more of this. I think this stuff is always a good time.
Yeah, if you're watching live, you can catch that live tomorrow. And if you're listening to a podcast version of this layer, you can catch the BCR recording that goes up Friday afternoon.
Yep, looking forward to it. Yeah, Mike's right. This sort of thing is just fun. We'll add some stakes, both for the winner and the loser of the Giant Bomb one. And yeah, it'll
because
be
Dan demands.
Because Dan whines. Everybody whines and gets what they want around here.
It seems to work. We learned it from watching
who do we learn
it from? All right. I think what we'll do now is, you know what? Let's just get right into it because we don't need another break, right, Christian?
We're good with breaks.
Thank you. All right, excellent. Mike, what have you been playing?
Gosh, well, I did mention Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which has been very fun. It's nice because I don't know. I feel like I haven't. I've been playing a lot of Souls-likes, right? I've been, in the kind of getting towards the end of Dark Souls 3 and enjoying that. But it is nice to play one of these very fast-paced, very different kind of action games. Just with the visual overhaul, there's so many ways this game is still so impressive and striking that I'm like, oh yeah, you modernize this, that's going to fit right in. It's not going to feel like some sort of weird throwback or anything like that.
Right. Yes. I am looking forward to playing that. Again, it just looks like they did a really good job visually. I heard there were some issues with the PC version. Where are you playing it?
I'm on Xbox, running great on Xbox. So yeah, I think I might have heard that too, but I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. I'll see for myself. I mean, I have Game Pass, so if I need to go play the Xbox version instead, I'll just do that. But pretty cool.
There's such a fun mechanic where, like sometimes you have to finish an enemy off, and the tell for that is if you've cut off one of their limbs already. And they're actually more dangerous when they're like that, because they they get a little suicidal and they'll just jump on you and explode or something. So if an enemy is missing an arm or a leg, got to go up to them and push Y and just cut off their head or something before they can jump on you. It's just funny, fighting these people and keeping an eye on, all right, who's missing a limb?
Right, of course, yeah. It just sounds like a good time. So
it is, and also, me. It's not like, that sounds very violent and bloody, and it is, but it's silly, right? It's so much of that you don't take it very seriously. And then I beat Donkey Kong Country Returns. Actually, while I was watching you guys do Voicemail Dump Truck, I finished that one. I had a good time with it, Jeff. I think I feel similar to it as I did with Tropical Freeze. I was like, yeah, I liked that. Right. And then there's a good amount of people this is one of the best 2D platformers ever. I don't necessarily I see where they get there, and I'm also a little confused why I'm not moved more by it to a certain extent. But I definitely had fun with it.
Yeah, I think I'm still gonna probably pick it up and play some of it. But yeah, I expect to kind of fall in line with what you're saying, because that is how I felt when I played it originally, and how I feel about Tropical Freeze. I think they're good games. I just don't know why I don't get over the hump with them and start feeling the way other people who have fallen in love with them feel. But it's
right.
okay.
No,
You're allowed
exactly
to like a game for sure.
Yeah, no, exactly. I liked it. Exactly. So that was fun. Got to figure out my next thing. How about you, though? What have you been playing?
Yeah, my EverDrive came in for the 64, so I got that set up. Very easy to do. Got a bunch, just found a pretty good pack with a bunch of the stuff I would want. Threw it on there, and it's been great. All this stuff looks so fantastic on the CRT. It's always fun to like boot up a game and be like, oh yeah, look, it's using the expansion pack and it wants to do high definition graphics on the N64 and see what that looks like. It's like, you know what, this does look pretty good. Like Castlevania 2 on the N64. I can't remember what the subtitle is.
Legacy of Darkness.
It's Legacy of Darkness. That wasn't the name of the 360 ones. Okay. Yeah.
Well, there's just Castlevania as the first one.
Castlevania's the first one.
Then there's Legacy of Darkness, I think, is the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. And I like booted that up for a little bit just to take a look at it. And it's like, man, these games look all right on a CRT.
Those games have had a major reevaluating lately that makes me kind of want to play them now. Because for a while, everyone's like, those games suck.
Yeah.
Now people are like, yeah, they're fine.
Well, I think what happened is we got a lot of the Castlevania games that we really wanted after that. So like it became less of a concern that's like, oh, this is not what we want from Castlevania. Now it's like a cool curiosity. Right. And Castlevania 64 is dumb fun. I like it. There's a Frankenstein with a chainsaw for hands, so you just gotta love that. But yeah, I've just kind of been poking around. The plan is actually I'm playing through Shadows of the Empire, just kind of sitting here, relaxing, doing that here and there. It is punishing though when you do die and you lose all your lives. You do have to go all the way back to the beginning of the level. But I'm like, okay, cool. That's what games were like. I like that still. So
yeah.
I'm gonna.
I will sort of respect it more like that. Either do that or do what we had to do now where there are no lives.
Yep.
Donkey Kong Country Returns is in this weird place where they're like, we still have lives for some reason, but they don't really matter.
So long, yeah.
And you have like 50 of them, right? Yeah, it took a while. I mean, Mario Odyssey, I think, was the first Mario game that just straight up didn't have lives. They're like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
Right. The old heads
like,
Nintendo
what
had
about
to be
the
like,
one-up mushrooms?
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, well, we'll just give you more coins or something. Nintendo or like extra life so you can have more survivability. Nintendo had to be talked out of putting a timer into Mario Wonder. Like up to that point, why do we have a timer? Like it's just what we did. So yeah, they're guilty of that sometimes. But other than that, kind of just playing some stuff here or there. One game I can't talk about yet, but we'll talk about it probably on Nintendogs next week. Yeah, that should be good. And then a little bit of Jedi Power Battles. I played that on the Switch a little bit and had an okay time with it. That game was never great. Still not great.
That game was never great. But I'm glad they ported it.
Exactly. And it's a game that, like, even though it's never great, there's parts of it that I like. It kind of, if you're a Star Wars fan, there's something there.
It was a great sleepover game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. You go to Blockbuster, you're in a game. You get Jedi Power Battles, you get the pizza, you get the Coke, and you're good. That's a good night right there. So yeah, it's nostalgic to see it back, and it's always cool to have more of these older Star Wars games on the Switch, and it's on a bunch of other stuff, but that's where I've been playing it. But yeah, that's mostly it for me. We continue to every once in a while play a little bit of Marvel Rivals. I did start playing as Jeff now a little bit, and kind of found my footing with him as a character. So still like that quite a bit, and it's not one I'm playing a lot on my own time, but whenever you guys want to play, I'm down to clown with that. So yeah, enjoying some stuff right now, but still have not found a game that's like completely taken over my life at the moment.
Don't worry, you'll get to Grim Fandango soon.
Yep, looking forward to that. All right, any more super chats, Mikey?
Got a few more here. Last call, everybody, if you want to get one in here. TGIF Bromalgia's back. What's your favorite game that you're bad at? Currently sticking at Art of Rally, but loving every second of it.
Yeah, Art of Rally is
Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, you're pretty good at Street Fighter 6, probably comparatively. I don't know. I'm good at games. It's difficult.
No, this is a tough answer.
Maybe I'm going to say. Maybe I'll say Third Strike. Apparently,
yeah, not very good at that. Yeah.
We'll say Third Strike. I gotta get better.
To him.
Yeah, I gotta get better at Third Strike.
You bring it up all the time. That really.
I bring it up more than he does.
Jeff brings it up way more.
Yeah, way more. Yeah, I don't know. There's plenty. Anytime like I'm playing like a first person shooter competitively these days, I'm like, oh, I'm not as good at these as I used to be. And that's fine. But I still have a good time. Like they're fun to play. Art of Rally is a good one where it's like I couldn't quite get the hang of that, but it's still it's just so awesome still, and it has a good feel and a good look that yeah, I'm also with you. I'm like loving every second I spent with that.
Speaking of racing games, there's that new like Tokyo Extreme Racer that I think went in early access or something today. People seem excited about that. Have you looked into it at all?
No, I'll take a look though. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I might need to. Maybe I'll fill in that Ridge Racer size hole in my life. Chris Pratt says no mention of Mario Arcade on Switch 2 at the Xbox show. I'm getting nervous. What is happening?
Those Falupas are going to be waiting for you, buddy. Don't you worry. You're going to be stomping stupas so hard.
Yeah, it just wasn't the right venue for it, I guess, Chris. Sorry.
They're scared. They're scared of your expectations. So tone it down a little bit, and they'll come out there and talk about it at the next Xbox show.
Hexproof says, Grubb, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Reference to your second place showing amongst the team captains. And all the other ways you lose things.
This is my year. This is my year to win that, to not finish second in the next Bowser's Hurry, to not be clearly winning the Mario Wonder race and then just bet it all at the last second and letting Dan win it instead.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, shouldn't have done a lot of things.
How are you going to do in our football league this year, fantasy?
First time I did that, I finished second as well. Now, this year, I finished much worse than that. But yeah,
I won though.
You did win, Mike. Yes, cool.
Connell Wood says you need to check Mindwave. It's indie WarioWare.
Okay, got it. Yeah, there's a handful of those. But I always love a
demo on Steam.
Yeah, it's Mindwave. It's not out yet, but there's a demo. Okay. Well, yeah, this looks much more like WarioWare than a lot of the other ones. Cool. I will do that. All right. Any other super chats, Mike?
Looks like that's it, sir.
All right. Sounds good. We're gonna get out of here, everybody. I'm hitting the music right now. There we go. Yeah, there you go. You should hear it now.
Busy day. I'm sleepy.
Yeah. Lot going on. Steph was supposed to fly into London today. She's been doing some traveling the last couple days, but now she's supposed to go to London, and there's a bomb cyclone. Which is there's some snow, lots of rain, but apparently they are having tornadoes or something like that.
Right.
And it's getting pretty rough.
Is that the name of Giles Super?
Yes.
Yeah.
The bomb cyclone.
Why's the word bomb in there?
Just because it's I don't know. My guess would be there's so much energy in this swirling the atmosphere. It's like a bomb going off in the atmosphere. I don't know why they call it that. I'm not a weatherman.
It sounds cool as fuck.
Does sound cool as fuck though. Maybe have you considered that,
Maybe
Mike? That's the reason to call it that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I suppose so. Mike, you got any plans for the weekend?
No, not really. That's fine. But I kind of need to do something, right? As much fun as it is to just play Dark Souls 3 and stream and nap all day. Yeah, I think I need maybe do a little socializing or something. What's the Super Bowl? That's not this weekend, right?
No. There's some more playoff games this weekend, and then there'll be a break, and then it'll be the weekend after that.
All right. Well, that's something to look forward to. What time do we do BCR tomorrow? What time is that?
Take a look at the calendar.
Eastern.
Yeah, 1 Eastern. Okay.
1 Eastern. That'll be great. Do I have a calendar invite for that?
Sean, is that 2 hours? Because that's how long it took last time?
Well, I mean, BCR tends to be, hour to hour and a half. So I think you just blocked out 2 hours in case we do UPF.
Okay.
Why, busy, Jeff?
Well, no, just because we usually try to do BCR in 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Seems a bit long, but I don't know. They probably just did that.
We like that sometimes.
I love it if it's 2 hours long. I'll bill you.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do UPF after that then. We'll see. I don't know. I'll play. Maybe I'll play Dynasty Warriors and Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, tell us which one you like more.
Yeah.
Make it a competition between the two. Pit them against each other and say that
Everything
one's
should be a
bad.
competition. That's right.
I agree.
Bye, everybody.
Whoever loses gets killed.
Hey, loser gets killed?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff. See you later, buddy.
Oh, shit. Don't
get my GameCube.
No birds. Not go birds. No birds. I did. Happy birthday, Jason Finale.
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That's some good fisting. It's so frustrating when the game makes you edge.